The Ring Boys are back, down one on the night. Artie's having some Memorial Day glizzies, as he put it, so hopefully he's enjoying his hot dogs. But I'm here with my lovely, beautiful co-host, Doc. Doc, how are we feeling?
Doing good. Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. Excited to be back talking about fights.
Yes, sir. And tequila is what Conor McGregor is doing in the club, and I don't understand. We're kicking off the episode with like, what did you say behind the scenes? What was Conor doing?
In the club, getting tipsy.
When you are headlining a fight and you're just like streaming, calling people out, that's one thing. And I know he was ripping into like Ilya Taporia and all these, streamers and whatnot. And then 2 weeks later, he's actually in the club. Who knows if he was actually drinking or drunk, because he didn't have a hand, like a drinking hand, but still, like, that pisses me off. You fight in what, under a month, and you're going out to the club, and it just shows like he just does not care. And at this moment, like, if that's his training style, obviously we'll have to see, the press conference they'll have in Ireland, and I need to see what Michael Chandler is doing behind the scenes, but I'm bleeding towards picking Michael Chandler a little bit more now after seeing that. Doc, does that hurt your Conor McGregor pick stock, or what are your thoughts and feelings on Conor McGregor and the club getting tipsy?
I would have picked Michael Chandler regardless, because I think that Conor McGregor just hasn't been interested in fighting for such a long time. He's already made his money. He told us that he doesn't want to even trash talk at this upcoming press conference. He just wants to make a little bit more money here, and that's why he's coming back to fighting. He did his steroids, stopped the steroids, all of that stuff, and now we see him not focusing on the fighting, going out, having fun, doing what he said he would not be doing, and it just shows you where his head is at, and that's completely fine. The issue is that fans are going to tolerate this type of behavior, and I think that based on what Conor McGregor has done for the company in the past, he's going to get rewarded with more fights in the future, and they're just not going to be the same type of fights that we grew to expect from him. He's not going to be knocking out people like Jose Aldo. He's way past that point. He's not that type of fighter. This should move the arrow towards Michael Chandler. It's going to make betting on this fight a little bit more difficult, because I can imagine Chandler's stock is going up with this. But whatever. I still want to see McGregor back in the ring, but he's not going to be good, in my opinion.
Do you think he actually fights and makes weight and all this stuff, and when this fight actually happens, or do you think that this is the behavior we're going to get? Conor McGregor is going to be Conor McGregor, and we potentially might miss this fight?
I think it'd be pretty disrespectful for Conor McGregor to just blow off the UFC like that. He is the headliner for this event. If he doesn't show up to it, I think Dana won't tolerate it, even though McGregor has been an institution for the UFC. He hasn't fought in forever, but that would be ultimate disrespect for him to just not show up after trying to hype up his comeback for 2 years. So I hope it happens. I mean, you're right. It might not happen, but that would be really bad.
100%. And you know what Dana said? It's like, it's hard to get Conor McGregor in the ring because he's rich. He has what more does he want? Like, he's not doing this for the sport. He's not doing it for the love of the game. Like, he's doing it just because he's Conor and he just wants to. And he's going to do whatever he wants to do. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about what I think will actually be the headline event next here with Jamal Hill now having to fight Carlos Ulberg, also at 303 in Vegas. And pretty quick turnaround for Jamal Hill, like after losing to Alex Pereira, but I think a quicker turnaround for Carlos Ulberg for having a fight and getting that KO recently. So, I mean, I know who I'm picking. Doc, I hope you and I see eye to eye. Who do you have at this moment, Jamal Hill or Carlos Ulberg?
I've been saying it for a while, but Carlos Ulberg is a potential champion in this division. So I'm going to be taking him. His striking is more precise than Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill is going to have to use some wrestling here to win this fight. He is still feeling the effects from that knockout. Ulberg was not touched in his last fight. It's gonna be a fun fight to watch, but Ulberg, I think, is ready, and I'm glad that he's getting this chance. I think it says a lot that he felt comfortable to accept this fight on short notice, but he's been preparing for this for a while now, so it'll be a good fight. I can't wait for it to happen. We could talk a little bit about how Khalil Rountree is out of this fight, and truly unfortunate. I do believe the things that he was saying. But the fact that Ulberg is around in this division, ready to come in on short notice, means a lot. And I'm sure Dana will be happy with this. But yeah, my heart goes out actually to Rountree. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah, and Khalil Rountree having to pull out because of a failed test and the supplement that apparently he didn't know he was using that was illegal. And
he didn't even fail the test. That's the thing. No. He just said, "I will now fail this test," and he gave it enough time before the fight to allow the UFC to find somebody else. Which gives me more reason to believe that he is telling the truth. He didn't want to take these supplements. Maybe he's wrong. I know that Whitaker called him out on it a little bit, which was kind of not the type of person that I thought Robert Whitaker would be, especially with Khalil Rountree, who has been in the company for so long. But maybe there is more stuff going on behind the scenes. But as of now, I support Khalil Rountree and what he did to allow a new fight to happen.
Yeah, before I give my take, just want to read off Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. Now pick them at -110 each for the odds. Did the research here on the side. It's funny you mentioned Robert Whitaker because he's also like becoming a semi-streamer guy who's like going and making his YouTube career and trying to be clickbaity now. So it's interesting to see him coming in and take a few jabs. Similar to what like Max Holloway, Volk, and Israel are all doing. Now they're starting their own YouTube channels because it's like they know they don't have that much time. And if they can start a social media following, like that'll be a very good thing for their branding. But anyways, I'm taking Carlos Ulberg too. Him being at 11 is insane to me. Like seeing the guys that are ahead of him, like I feel like he could definitely take all those guys out. When you say champion one day, I don't know, Doc. Him versus Alex Pereira, like we'll have to see. He's got to eat first. He's got to take out Jamal Hill. I think that shoots him up to potentially like 5-4. We'll see how he goes up the rankings. But I mean, the light heavyweight division, a lot of guys at the top who deserve title shots first. But if Alex Pereira gets dethroned, then I definitely see it, and I definitely see your vision. But as long as Pereira has that belt, I can't unless you have a convincing argument.
Well, my argument is Ulberg's training partner is Israel Adesanya, who knocked out Alex Pereira at a lower weight division. So that's my argument, and I think Ulberg is very technically talented. He doesn't have the same kickboxing pedigree as Israel Adesanya, but Israel Adesanya knows Alex Pereira really, really well and can help Ulberg, who's so technical, know what to do against someone like Alex Pereira. So that's why I think there's a chance.
Yeah, and his technicality showed, for me at least, in that Jung fight. Like, that's when I was like, okay, like, this guy can go rounds. He's not just a one-round KO machine. This guy's a true ultimate overall fighter. So we'll see. Another fight getting announced for 303 in June. Ian Garry versus Michael Venom Page. When I saw this, I was like, what? I think this fight makes sense technically. I think this is a big fight. I think it's obvious who's going to win. I'm not going to say mine yet, but Doc, who would you take, Ian Garry or Michael Venom Page in this one?
After what Michael Venom Page did to my
Kevin
Holland, I'm going to be taking Michael Venom Page here. Michael Venom Page will be good against most stand-up strikers, even Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. But he will struggle against people that can get him down to the mat. I don't think Ian Garry will be able to do that. Ian Garry is going to try to fight him standing up, and Michael Venom Page's range is just distance control is so good that it's going to frustrate Ian Garry just like it frustrated Kevin Holland. So I'm going to take Michael Venom Page. He surprised me last time, but I think that he can continue this momentum here. And Ian Garry, this is going to hurt if he loses. This is going to hurt a lot, especially because MVP is coming out of Bellator. It's going to hurt.
I agree with you on the MVP pick. I do think Ian Garry has a better chance at getting him on the mat. Will he be successful? I don't think so. Him training with Charles Oliveira and being in Brazil and, Chito box and whatnot, I think that's a good thing to have on your resume, but you got to get there. And Michael Venom Page's legs and awkwardness, you could catch a knee trying to go for it, and you could get another, or a loss in the record column there for you for your first time. And after seeing what Ian Garry did with Jeff Neal, I have no confidence in him whatsoever. I thought they were going to make him and Colby first before they made this. I'm more excited for this than him and Colby, because him and Colby would just be them saying whatever on the mic, getting their weird, roast insults in, and then they wouldn't do anything in the ring, and it would be a boring fight. But I think Michael Venom Page definitely can get it done. I'd probably lean towards him in decision, just because I think like they're going to be very slow. If this was 5 rounds, I think MVP knocks him out. But it being 3, I think he's going to take his time, get a feel for him, just win by points. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see fireworks either way.
Did you mention the knee because of MVP's highlights?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that guy's knee is literally a knife.
Well, that guy's knee dented someone's skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that happens again, I don't want that to happen, because then Ian Garry's career is over. But you can't rule it out.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I'm glad we see eye to eye. We're both taking MVP on that. Subject to change. The fight world, everything changes always. But a thing that's not going to change is finally a title shot for Belal Muhammad. He will fight Leon Rocky Edwards in England in July at 304. And I mean, 2 title fights there. I'm still confused by the Tom Aspinall situation. But anywho, Leon headlining this card, fighting Belal. And yeah, I think this is a pick'em, honestly. I don't think I can just pick someone right now. I personally want to do more research. If I were to lean towards someone, like, I know Belal trains during Ramadan in July. He still has another whole month, and he's probably been in camp for a while. But Belal, man, you gotta go out there. You gotta go out there in enemy territory, and you really gotta convince the crowd. And Kamaru Usman was, I feel like, winning that fight the entirety of the time, and then headshot dead, and he could go at any second. So 5 rounds. I think this one's gonna be potentially one of the fights of the year, and I think people are sleeping on this one personally. I think this is a really good matchup. Doc, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so this is the second time that they're running it back. Belal versus Leon first time ended in that eye poke. I don't remember who took that first round, but I'm going to be taking Leon Edwards in this fight. Belal Muhammad has not fought in a while. We haven't seen him in a while. When you say that's going to be fight of the night, fight of the year, stuff like that, no way. Belal Muhammad is as boring of a fighter as there is in the UFC. He's effective in what he does, which is take people down, keep them there. But I'm taking Leon here because Kamaru Usman was not able to really keep him down too much, and Leon's defense has been getting a lot better recently. We'll see what happens here, but Belal is not immune to getting pieced up, and Leon Edwards is much better fighter now than he was 2 years ago, the first time that they faced off. He's confident. He's beaten Kamaru Usman, who was the best in this weight division for a very long time. So I expect him to win. And there's going to be some ring rust for Belal Muhammad. That being said, he does have excellent cardio, which will favor him in a 5-round fight. But I don't expect this to go 5 rounds. I'm predicting a knockout.
I think so too. I think either way, someone's getting finished. Whether it's, I don't think Belal could get a submission in, but I think anything's possible.
Belal doesn't know how to finish fights.
I know that, but I just have a feeling, and when I get that feeling, it's normally not wrong. That's how I called DDP. That's how I called Taporia. It's just I have that feeling again. It's been money for me this year, and it hasn't come around. But we'll see if that feeling continues.
Well, Belal by finish in Vegas is going to be like plus 4,000. So I feel like if you're having a feeling,
it's in England. It's in England in July.
No, I'm saying the like the Vegas odds.
Oh, yeah, on the book. Yeah. throw a quick $100 at that. Never expect that money to return. That England card's fire. That's going to be a really good card. It sucks that in England they have to be up. They're doing that card at like 3 a.m. Like, that's a big disadvantage. So that's why I'm thinking, maybe Belal has a shot for Leon off, but he's obviously going to be training at those hours and adjusting for it. And it's, in his homeland. So we'll just have to wait and see. Another thing we'll wait and see, going across the in Europe into the desert, as Johnny Walker likes to call it. On the Umar Sanhagen card, fight night, August 3rd, we got Chito Vera versus Davison Figueredo now. And Chito's back, and Figueredo's getting a high value fight that he's been requesting. And this one stylistically is really good. So, Doc, I'll let you make your pick first while I look at the odds on the side. I don't think they're probably up yet, but I'll look.
I'm going to take Davison Figueredo off the bat here. Chito Vera hasn't won in a while. He got badly hurt by Sean O'Malley his last fight. Again, his chin was incredible, but you can only take so much, and Figueredo hits like a truck. Plus, Figueredo showed off his submissions against Cody Garbrandt this last fight. So I think that now that he doesn't have to cut as much weight, the bantamweight division is perfect for him. And he's shown 2 great fights in this division. And I think Chito Vera's ranked way too highly right now. So this should be a pretty easy fight, in my opinion, for Figueredo. But again, Chito Vera is just on the decline in his career, but he's been on the decline in the past and got a few victories of his own. Got Dominic Cruz knocked out unexpectedly. So he could surprise us, but it was an uninspiring performance against Sean O'Malley, except for his chin, which will eventually crack.
What do you think the odds are, if you had a guess?
225, minus 225 for Figueredo or something like that.
It opened minus 115 Figueredo, minus 105 Marlon, and right now it's minus 130 Figueredo, plus 110 Chito.
Yeah, I mean, those are excellent odds.
I think it's obviously going to shift, but minus 130 on Figueredo, give me that every day of the week. Like, what he did to Cody at 300 was just solidified. Okay, yeah, we've gotten used to this weight. Congratulations, we found our niche with the Swiss Army knife, and we're ready to use it on anyone. I hope more fights, more big fights get announced for that. That's going to be a sick card in Abu Dhabi, and I'm glad we're getting more of these Abu Dhabi events because Dana White does not like to disappoint, the Royal Highness or whatever they call him.
I will say the other fight is the Umar versus Sanhagen. So I expect Umar to win that. And then I expect the next fight after Davison wins to be Davison against Sanhagen. And that's going to be a truly interesting fight. That one, I don't know who I take.
Yeah, well, we'd have to see them perform.
Yeah, and also Umar might lose to Sanhagen. So I guess it's jumping ahead of ourselves here. But we say this about every division, I think, at this point. But all the divisions are good. Bantamweight is phenomenal too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Lastly, before we go all the way into August, we got another fight in July. Rose Namajunas versus Macy Barber. Doc, please agree with me on this one.
Old versus new. I'm going to take Rose Namajunas. And I just believe in her. And she has the experience that Macy Barber does not have. And although Rose has looked sloppy in her last few fights, she does seem to come back when this happens. When she's trying to prove a point, she is able to put on a really good performance. And I think Macy Barber, although she's done well, this might be too much to handle.
You see, I think there's one underlying factor that people aren't remembering after Macy Barber's last fight. She struggled to get that decision. Obviously she knocked out Amanda Ribas last year. But the fact that she spent 9 days in the hospital after that fight, said that she was like on the verge of death and she's just thankful to be alive. I think she's going to come in with different energy. I think she's going to be like, okay, like I will die in that ring. I almost died this year. Like I will go in there and I will do everything I can. And she's just going to use her striking. And I think she's just going to overwhelm Rose. And Rose is going to have to make this one a dirty one. And like, I don't know. Like I think people are just overlooking Macy's last performance. And I personally, like who I want to win, I want Rose to win. I've always been a big Rose fan. I just think Macy's going to overwhelm her. Like, I don't know. I think Macy Barber's striking was underlooked in her last fight, but she obviously had some complications. And if she comes in healthy, she comes in strong, ready to go. I think it's a decent bet because I don't think she would be the favorite, or at least, what would you think the odds are?
Yeah, I think that it would probably be a pick'em. I think if this fight was done a year ago, then Rose would be a big favorite. But I bet it's going to be like a pick'em at this point. Honestly, Barber might be favored, but yeah, I don't know what the current odds are.
Yeah, I'll look them up on the side while I do that. Thank you to everyone listening. Obviously, we appreciate your support. By the common man, for the common man. Missing already tonight. Rose Namajunas lines are not posted, so I'm a failure there. If they're there, drop them in the comments. And yeah, the next time you guys will be hearing from us will be for UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey, June 1st. We'll get a pre-show, we'll get a post-show for you guys, and we'll try to get our picks out early as possible for all you betting nerds. And I think I got this one. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I think I like my picks for this card. Just looking at it right now, with we got Islam Makhachev fighting Dustin Poirier, Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, Elton Almeida, Alexander Romanov, Cesar Almeida, Roman Kopylov, Randy Brown versus Dos Santos. Some good stuff on the prelims here, and yeah, we'll break that card down for you folks. And Doc, how are we feeling for 302?
I'm excited. The numbered events have been pretty good, except for the Canada one. So we'll be doing great. I don't know. I'm excited to see Islam back out there. He is the best fighter in the world right now. So Dustin Poirier, this might be the swan song, but he could shock the world. I don't expect it to happen at all. But you never know.
What would your reaction be if Dustin Poirier wins by guillotine?
Oh, he's not winning by guillotine.
I think the world would be on fire.
No, if he wins, he'll clip Islam, but
I don't see it.
I can't see it. I can't see it unless Islam wasn't training all this time, and that's just impossible. Khabib would not let him.
He's been in camp with Khabib in New Jersey for like 2 months. Like what?
Yeah,
they're acclimated to the climate. I don't know. We'll save it. We'll save it. But yeah, 302. Do you think Islam fights again if he win or lose this year? I mean, August is too.
Islam wants, like, who is he fighting at lightweight next? I want to see him fight Sarukian, but I think he's gonna just try to go up to welterweight. He needs to fight Sarukian, though, in my opinion. That's the last one he needs to fight in the lightweight division. I don't think he has to run it back against Charles Oliveira because he's going to dominate him again. Sarukian, he needs that fight.
Sarukian in October would make sense.
Yeah, but I think he's going to try to move up in weight. I guess it depends on what Leon does, because I don't think he's going to fight Belal. If Belal wins, I don't think he's going to want to fight Belal. But
I don't know. Him and Belal in Abu Dhabi.
I think it's more of like the Muslim Brotherhood. That's the issue. That's why they wouldn't fight. I think Belal Muhammad would get smoked, to be clear.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So him against Leon would be interesting. But I need to see Sarukian. And then, I mean, there's nothing else for Islam to do at this point. Just like Khabib would have beaten everyone, Islam's going to beat everyone. So,
I mean, yeah, like either way, like I don't see how it doesn't play out him fighting in October. Like I think even if he loses to Dustin, I still think he fights again in October, which obviously I don't think will happen, which we'll talk about on the next episode. But him and Leon in Abu Dhabi would sell so well in October. But is it a card or is it a fight night? I don't remember. I think it's a pay-per-view. I think it might be a pay-per-view. If it's a pay-per-view, it makes sense. If not, we'll have to wait. All right, boys and girls. I think that's been everything we got on the agenda. Doc, anything you want to say before we sign off here?
No, that's it. We're coming at you with shorts very soon, and a couple more episodes in the next few days here. So,
yes, sir.
Be on the lookout.
Thank you for the support on the last episode. That episode banged, almost 200 views for us. So we appreciate and love seeing the growth and First time listener, long time follower, whatever you are, give us some love and throw some likes, subscribe, drop some comments, and yeah, tell us what you want to see more of. And 302, 302, 302. Excited. Alrighty. Peace.